Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is the first video for Turtle Warhammer. Today we are going to be doing a Death Guard lore video. The Death Guard is a very important faction, as this is my favorite, and that's why I'm doing it as the very first video. So, let's get right into it. The Death Guard were never originally the Death Guard. They were actually created during the Great Crusade as the 14th Legion. They originally called the Dusk Raiders. They raided at dusk. They were recruited from Terra, and they were basically used to fight in really bad environments, toxic wastelands, and just straight up shit. They would fight no matter where. They would pretty much send them to a place where they would look at it and be like, yeah, no one should live here, no one should fight here, everyone will die. And these Dusk Raiders were like, fuck it, we ball, let's go. This legion specialized in endurance. They just liked to outlive anyone. Even if it was like, we're not going to win because of strength, we're just genuinely going to outlive these guys because we can deal with this shit. And that's where their Primarch kind of comes into place. Their Primarch, Mortarion, was a baby discovered on the planet of Barbarous, a world that's pretty much covered in poisonous shit. Humanity used to survive in the lowlands. The high mountains were ruled by these overlords that were pretty much just warp tyrants of assholes. And they used sorcery and fear to basically dominate the population below, making them slaves. Mortarion was discovered in the poop fog and was taken in by his adoptive father, who was a tyrant. And this tyrant trained Mortarion to fight. He taught him endurance, he taught him discipline, and this honestly made Mortarion hate him. He hates sorcery, he hates the warp, he hates his father, he hates that he was pretty much abducted. So, Mortarion eventually fled. He descended into the lowlands and lived among ordinary humans. These humans saw him and they were like, you're not one of us. So he showed them that they can trust him. He ended up teaching them how to fight, teaching them how to eventually retaliate against the tyrants that have been torturing them forever. He eventually built a resistant force and began a slow war of liberation against the Mountain Lords. He ended up killing a bunch of the tyrants. And during this time, he had a very close companion who was named Typhus. They grew up together, fought together. Typhus was very loyal and intelligent to Mortarion. But Typhus was warp sensitive. He heard whispers, he understood decay and inevitability, not as something to fight, but something to accept. And obviously, he didn't really tell Mortarion because Mortarion does not fuck with the warp. And eventually, Mortarion went to go try and kill his tyrant father. The Emperor of Mankind showed up and kind of challenged Mortarion to do it without Mortarion knowing that he was the Emperor. And Mortarion was like, yeah, I'm going to go kill my father. There's nothing you can do about it. Whatever, you're not better than me. So Mortarion climbed up into the poisonous atmosphere and was almost about to die. And his father looked at him and was also going to kill him. But then the Emperor came in and was like, get your bitch ass out of here. Smited him instantly, without a doubt. It was easy. It was over. The Emperor then told Mortarion, hey, you have now got to follow me. I'm your father. And Mortarion was like, whatever, I guess I will, but I don't like it. From Mortarion's perspective, the Emperor didn't liberate Barbarous. He robbed Mortarion of his victory and replaced one tyrant with another. Mortarion joined the Imperium and was given command of the 14th Legion. He then renamed them the Death Guard. He reshaped the Legion completely. He gave them heavy armor, chemical and biological warfare. He trained them to fight while poisoned, wounded, or exhausted. He basically trained them to do what they already did and just be super durable. The Death Guard became really famous for advancing through conditions that would kill any other Space Marine like it was nothing. Typhon eventually rose to become the first captain, Mortarion's most trusted son. And the Great Crusade continued. Mortarion grew increasingly angry at the Imperium because he didn't like the Emperor's secrecy. He doesn't like psychers. He doesn't like anything that resembles mystical authority. And that just pissed him off. So then there was the Horus Heresy. That's a whole other thing. When Horus rebelled, Mortarion joined him, not because of chaos, but because he believed the Emperor had become the very tyrant Mortarion had sworn to destroy. At this point, the Death Guard still rejected demons and warp worship. Mortarion just really did not fuck with it at all. They believed that they could use Horus's rebellion to free humanity, but Typhon knew better than that and had a whole different plan. He basically decided to go on like a secret mission, and Mortarion was like, "All right, that's a little weird, but you're Typhon. I love you. You're awesome. Go do whatever the hell you want." So Typhon went off, explored, went on this whole mission, went into the warp, and set up this whole plan without Mortarion knowing. He ended up finding Mortarion and was like, "Hey, there's about to be a war. Instead of going on the ship that you usually go on, come with me. We'll go together. We can be together. So when this war happens, we can fight." Typhon ended up sabotaging their navigation. He set them up to go into the war, and obviously Mortarion was pissed. He did not like it. So basically, Typhon sabotaged the entire fleet into going into the war. And that's when they got hit with this plague called the Destroyer Plague. And it basically just fused their armor permanently to their flesh. Their organs started to liquefy and get reformed and blow up. And while they're also regenerating at the same time, they just eternally felt this pain because they're just blowing up and their armor is fusing to them. And they obviously didn't know what the hell was going on. Mortarion couldn't do anything. So Nurgle appeared and was like, "Hey, you need to praise me and follow me and worship me, and I will make it to where this pain will just feel normal. You'll still be fucked up, but your guys will no longer feel the pain, and they will be able to regenerate and just be more durable than they ever have been." And eventually Mortarion gave in. He didn't want to, but he's seeing all of his brothers just getting absolutely demolished by this plague. Like, they are screaming, throwing up, and they can't die because they just keep regenerating from it. So all of these people are just suffering. So eventually Mortarion gives in. He's like, "Fuck it, fine. I don't like it, but for my brothers to continue living, I'm going to do it." So the moment Mortarion accepted it, the pain stopped. The Death Guard were transformed into Plague Marines. Their bodies bloated and decayed, but stabilized. Disease no longer killed them, it actually empowered them. They had become something horrific, but they could endure forever. Typhon was rewarded for his betrayal. He became Typhus, Herald of Nurgle, host to the Destroyer Hive, a demonic swarm living inside him, constantly devouring and rebuilding his body. Wherever Typhus goes, plague follows. Mortarion eventually learned the truth and tried to kill Typhus. He actually did kill him, but then Nurgle brought him back because Nurgle thinks it's funny that Mortarion hates Typhus because of it. So Typhus just kind of came back, and Mortarion was still pissed. So he hired someone else to kill Typhus, and he ended up killing Typhus again. But Typhus came back because Nurgle's not going to let him die. He keeps restoring him every time he gets killed. I'm pretty sure he got killed a few times. And then over time, Mortarion kind of got used to it. Obviously, there's nothing he could have done. And then he ascended into a demon Primarch of Nurgle, a big winged embodiment of plague and despair. I think he looks badass. Mortarion knows he is enslaved. He hates what he has become. He hates Nurgle, but he cannot escape it. So he kind of just has to do what he has to do to keep his brothers alive. In the modern era of Warhammer 40K, the Death Guard operate primarily from the Scourge Stars, spreading plagues across the galaxy. They don't rush, they don't rage, they don't care about glory. They just infect worlds because they fucking can, and they just leave them alive to slowly die. So they'll just kind of go in, shit all over the place, and then leave because they think it's funny. They think decay is inevitable, resistance is pointless, and acceptance is peace. So it's kind of just accept it and deal with it. And that's pretty much the main lore of Death Guard. And if I missed any crucial facts that you know, please let me know, as this is my first video and I am going with the army that I think I know the most. I may be wrong on some details, but I'm not 100% sure yet. And I also apologize for some of the sound quality. I am testing out some new mics and some new settings for stuff. So if the sound quality isn't the greatest, I do apologize. But, anyways, go ahead and comment what faction you would like to hear next, and maybe I will feature your comment in the video and talk about your army that you want to see. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys later.